and welcome back to BookTube with Amy. I have a big huge stack of books beside me to talk to you guys about. So this is my last book haul. I'm saying last, realistically it's probably not going to be, but definitely my last for a while. This is like my pre-baby haul. There are some Christmas presents and stuff in here as well. Some of these I've bought myself, some of them Simon have bought me. There was like a day where we basically just went out to Waterstones. In fact, it was Black Friday. We went out to Waterstones, we shouldn't have, and he basically bought me every single book that I even looked at. So quite a few to go through, but we will be officially on a book buying ban after the baby is here, because like, I'm not an expert or anything, but apparently they cost quite a bit of money, so we'll not really have money to purchase some books, but considering like we have our own built-in library, I think I'll be alright. Like my physical total at the minute of unread books that I own that I want to read is sitting at like 694, so I'll not be short on reading materials. But anyway, let's jump into some of these books. So I have Brainworms by Alison Rumfitt. This is Alison's new release and I am super excited to get to this. This is the same author as Tell Me I'm Worthless, which was like one of my books of the year last year. Thoroughly enjoyed it, so I can't wait to pick this one up. When a turf bombs Frankie's workplace, she blows up Frankie's life with it. As the media descends like vultures, Frankie tries to cope with the carnage, binge drinking, sleeping with strangers, pushing away her friends. Then she meets Vanya, mysterious, beautiful, terrifying Vanya. The two hit it off immediately, but as their relationship intensifies, so does Frankie's feeling that Vanya is hiding something from her. When Vanya's secrets threaten to tear them apart, Frankie starts digging and unearths a sinister, depraved conspiracy, the roots of which go deeper than she ever imagined. Shocking, grotesque and downright filthy, Brainworms confronts the creeping reality of political terrorism while exploring the depths of love, pain and identity. Sounds right up my street. And then we have Days at the Murasaki Bookshop by Satoshi Yagasawa. So from the beginning of summer to early spring, I lived at the Murasaki Bookshop. I spent that period of my life in the spare room on the second floor of the store, trying to bury myself in books. The cramped room barely got any light and everything felt damp. It smelt constantly of musty old books, but will always remember the days I spent there because that's where my real life began, and I know without a doubt that if not for those days, the rest of my life would have been bland, monotonous and lonely. The Murasaki Bookshop is precious to me. It's a place I know I'll never forget. This just sounds like such a lovely wee uplifting book, so I can't wait to read this one. Very different tone for Brainworms, you know, sort of feel like the polar ends in my reading tastes there. And then we have Paper Cup by Karen Campbell. Rocked by a terrible accident, homeless Kelly needs to escape the streets of Glasgow. Maybe she doesn't believe in serendipity, but a rare moment of kindness and a lost ring conspire to call her home, returning to the small town she fled so many years. I think that this will be a poignant reread, and again, excited to get to it when the time comes. Who knows when that will be. And then we have Endland by Tim Etchells. In Endland, nothing is stable. Its world is one of empty tower blocks, 24-hour cyber cafes and bomb sites. Landscapes haunted by Thatcher, Brexit, folk tales and science fiction are populated by a motley collection of misfits, wanderers and charmed drunks. A comical and brutal wave of parables gone wrong. England holds a broken mirror to England. I think that this is definitely one I should read with Ange. I think that this would be really interesting. I'd never heard of this book before. It jumped out to me in a Waterstones, and I just think that it sounds like it's going to be really good. I think that it's going to be quite a difficult read and be quite harsh on our current political landscape, and rightly so. Introduction by Jarvis Cocker also. I love Jarvis Cocker, he is the main man, so looking forward to reading it. What else can I say? I literally picked all these books. And then we have The Portable Door by Tom Holt. A new job always comes with questions, but Paul isn't sure he wants the answers. Starting a new job is stressful, especially when you don't want one. But when Paul Carpenter arrives at the office of J.W. Wells, he has no idea what trouble lies in store. The apparently respectable establishment now paying his salary as a front for a deeply sinister organisation with a mighty peculiar agenda. It seems that half the time his bosses are away with the fairies, but they're not, of course. They're away with the goblins. That sounds like it's going to be quirky, magical realism, and I am excited for it. It's been a while since I've had one like that. Probably the Left-Handed Booksellers of London. I'm thinking this has given me maybe similar vibes, so looking forward to it. And then this is Luda by Grant Morrison. This was a total off-the-cuff pick for Simon. He got it for me as part of my Christmas. Little did he know that I was just reading about it like a few weeks before he actually gave it to me, and I was interested in it. So a drag queen initiates her protege into the magical arts in this phantasmagoric epic, the first novel from the legendary comic writer and New York Times best-selling author. Lucy LeBang is a star. For decades, this flamboyant drag artist has cast a spell over screen and stage. Now she is the leading lady in a smash hit pantomime, but as time takes its toll, Lucy fears her star is beginning to dim. When Lucy's co-star meets with a mysterious accident, a new ingenue shimmers onto the scene. Luda's fantastical beauty and sinister charm infatuate Lucy immediately. Luda, who bears a striking resemblance to Lucy herself at a much younger age, begs Lucy to share the secrets of her stardom and to reveal the hidden tricks of her trade. For Lucy LeBang is a mistress of the glamour, a mysterious discipline that draws on sex, drugs and the occult for its trance-like transformative effects. But as Lucy tutors her young protege, their fellow actors and crew members begin meeting with untimely ends. Now Lucy wonders if Luda has mastered the glamour all too well and even exploited it to achieve her dark ambitions. What follows is an intoxicating descent into the demonade of Gasglow, a fantastical city of dreams, and into the nightmarish heart of Luda herself. A femme fatale, a phenomenon, a monster, and perhaps the brightest star of them all. Like, obviously this is in Gasglow, but like Glasgow, and it's given me like All About Eve meets like horror vibes, which is just a bit of me, and like it's such an awesome cover. She looks sinister AF. It's going to be such a great read. And then I have The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Co. My sister actually got me this for my Christmas. Now, we know Cassandra Co is not my friend on this channel. However, I picked this up because Leandra over at Leandra the TBR Zero, when she read this, she says she thought of me. So I'm giving Cassandra Co a second go based on Leandra, and Leandra, if it's rotten, we're having words. So, myths are full of lies, this is not one of them. Fleeing the downfall of an empire, a mermaid and her plague doctor companion escape into the eerie shadows of a wintry forest. Among the bark and snow, they are drawn into ancient games for ageless children. A murderous hunt for blood and sacrifice deep in the woods, where three who call themselves saints rule over them all like gods. Trapped in a feverish nightmare of mass monsters, stitches and surgeons, and needle teeth, the mermaid must embrace all of her cruelty and hungers to free the children. This at least is a quick wee read, so should be able to fit it in and give it a go next year. And then I have The Night Raven by Sarah Painter. My sister got me this one as well for Christmas. Meet Lydia Crow. Lydia has always known she has no power, especially next to her infamous and more than slightly dodgy family, which is why she carved her own life as a private investigator far away from London. When a professional snafu forces her home, the head of the family calls in a favour, and Lydia finds herself investigating the disappearance of her cousin Mary. Soon Lydia is neck deep in problems, her new flatmate is a homicidal ghost, the intriguing but forbidden DCI fleet is acting in a distinctly unprofessional manner, and tensions between the old magical families are rising. The Crows used to rule the roost, and rumours claim they are still the strongest. The Silvers have a facility for lying, and they run the finest law firm in London. The Peril family were coastmongers, and everybody knows that a pearly can sell feathers to a bird. The Fox family, well, the less said about the Fox family, the better. For 75 years, a truce between the four families has held strong, but could the disappearance of Maddie Crow be the thing to break it? So this was giving me like cosy mystery vibes, but a bit paranormal. So I'm looking forward to this one. This came up as, it was a total fluke. It was recommended to me on Amazon and I think it sounds absolutely brilliant. So really looking forward to get to that. And then I have If I Have to Be Haunted by Miranda Sun. This is the last Fairy Loot book that I received. It has got these gorgeous sprayed edges. I've cancelled my Fairy Loot subscription because we're going to have a baby, so I'm going to be skint. And this is, Cara's just trying to stay on top of all of her classes, excel at her extracurriculars and prepare for college, which means not speaking to the dead, an ability she inherited from her grandmother. Ghosts are trouble and Cara doesn't need to add their problems to her own. But then she stumbles upon the body of Zach, the super popular but very newly dead high school golden boy, in the woods, and guess what? He wants her to resurrect him. Cue trouble. I think that this could be cracking. I really like ghosty books and I think that this could be quite cute, quite funny. Like Buffy, the teenage vampire slayer, except she actually sees ghosts instead. It was giving me like they vibes, so I think it'll be a really great read. And then this is one that Simon got me, and like, I'm sorry, but turtle sprayed edges are like the most adorable sprayed edge in the world, and I'm not accepting any arguments on that. So this is The Sunset Years of Agnes Sharp by Leonie Swan. One murder to solve and another to conceal. It will be tricky, but the senior sleuths of Sunset Hall are going to give it their best shot. Sunset Hall is a house share for the old and unruly, led by Agnes Sharp. It's an eventful day when this group of idiosyncratic geriatrics gets a visit from the police to inform them some shocking news. A body has been discovered next door. Everyone puts on a long face, but they are secretly relieved that the body in question is not the one that they're currently hiding in the shed. Sorry about that, Lilith. Now, the answer to their problem with Lilith may have fallen into their laps. All they have to do is find out who murdered their neighbour so they can pin Lilith's death on them, thus killing two birds with one stone. To investigate, the group, not forgetting Hetty the tortoise, will venture into the not-so-idyllic village of Duck End and tangle with sinister bakers, broken stair lifts, inept criminals and their own dark secrets. I think that this is just going to be absolutely hysterical. I think that this is translated as well. Aye, it is. So it was originally a German novel and it's been translated into English. My favourite thing in books is the old characters, and I say this constantly on the channel. Elderly characters are massively underserved in books, and so any book where the main characters are older characters, I'm going to give it a go, because I think that they are the best. They've had so much life experience, they are the funniest, and their one-liners are absolutely unreal. And then for part of my Christmas, Simon got me this absolutely stunning edition of the complete works of Edgar Allan Poe, and it is just like, oh, absolutely stunning, like gold edges, oh, it just looks beautiful, and I can't wait to dive into this and read this. I have read a lot of Edgar Allan Poe over the years, but I've never had like a comprehensive works, so it'll be nice to sit down and sink my teeth into that. Then I have Dragonfall by L.R. Lamb. This is one again that Simon bought me, no surprise. Long ago, humans betrayed dragons, stealing their magic and banishing them to a dying world. Centuries later, their descendants worship dragons as gods, but the gods remember and they do not forgive. Since they were orphaned, Arcady had scraped a living thieving on the streets of Vatra, dreaming of a life among the nobility and revenge. When the chance arises to steal a powerful artefact from the bones of the Plaguebringer, the most hated person in the Lumet history, they jump at it, for its magic holds the key to their dreams. But the spell has unintended consequences, and drags Everin, the last male dragon who was once foretold to save his kind, into the human world. Trapped and disguised as a human, Everin soon realises that his key and his destiny to regaining his true power lies in Arcady. All he needs to do is convince the one little thief to bond to him completely, body, mind and soul, and then kill him. Yet the closer the two become, the greater the risk both their worlds will shatter. Sounds amazing. This is obviously the first in a series. Probably all the fantasy ones that I've spoke to you about are the first in a series at this point, but I think it's going to be a phenomenal read. This was another one Simon purchased for me for part of my Christmas, and so this is The Door to Door Bookstore by Karsten Hen. Again, this is just another wee random one that he picked up for me. I had never heard of this book, but it looks amazing. There's a book written for every one of us. Carol may be 72 years old, but he's young at heart. Every night he goes door to door delivering books by hand to his loyal customers. He knows their every desire and preference, carefully selecting the perfect story for each person. One evening, as he makes his rounds, 9-year-old Sasha appears loud and precocious. She insists on accompanying him and even tries to teach him a thing or two about books. When Carol's job at the bookstore is threatened, will the old man and the girl in the yellow raincoat be able to restore Carol's way of life and return the joy of reading to this little European town? Again, it just sounds like it's going to be such a lovely, wholesome wee read, and it's going to be great. I then have Accidental Magic by Iris Beaglehole, and this is the first in the Myrtlewood Mystery series. This was one my mum and dad got me for Christmas, I think. Life's a struggle for Rosemary Thorne and her teen daughter Athena, but their regular troubles are turned upside down after Granny Thorne's mysterious death. Despite her cousin's sinister manoeuvrings, Rosemary returns to Myrtlewood in the sprawling, dilapidated Thorne Manor, but there's more to the old house than meets the eye, as Rosemary and Athena soon find out. In a whirlwind of magic adventure, mystical creatures and endless cups of tea, life in Myrtlewood would be bliss if Rosemary could only clear her name in a certain murder investigation, solve the mystery and stay out of mortal peril for at least a little while. A small town with endless secrets, strange activities and a house with a mind of its own. If you love mystery, witches, paranormal women's fiction with a midlife main character and a big dose of humour, then you're going to love Myrtlewood Mysteries Book 1. So again, like, I'm feeling all my cosy vibes and if I can add a wee bit fantasy into my cosy mysteries, that is like a wee sweet spot for me. So there's definitely been a few of them added to the wish list. And then this is one Simon got me for Christmas and I am ecstatic about it. So this is the Sloane Krause Mystery Shorts, The First Pour by Ellie Alexander. So this is another series that she has started writing out with the Meet Your Baker series. This is like Beer and Loathing. I can't remember like what the actual series is called, but I'm sure the first one in the series is called Beer and Loathing. Or maybe it is just the Sloane Krause Mysteries, but it is mystery set within a pub basically, but he managed to get this shipped over from America because Ellie Alexander was doing a limited run where she was personalising them and hand signing them and like sending them out, but they were only doing it in America. But he managed to get in touch with her publisher and managed to get it sent over here, which I was very, very ecstatic about. So like, it is signed, and we all know the love affair that I've been having with Ellie Alexander and her books recently, so like it was just amazing to have this. Absolutely fantastic, and I can't believe he managed to get it sent over. I was like quite emotional when I opened it, but we'll blame it on the hormones. And then the next books are a few books that I have purchased for myself. So I got myself An Unkindness of Ghosts by River Solomon. I have wanted to read some River Solomon for quite a wee while. I've got this, and is it The Deep I have on my wish list as well by them, and I wanted to pick one of them up so that I could get to them shortly, and I thought this one sounded absolutely excellent. Aster has little to offer folks in the way of rebuttal when they call her ogre and freak. She's used to the names. She only wishes there was more truth to them. If she truly were a monster, she'd be powerful enough to tear down the walls around her until nothing remains of the world. Aster lives in the low-deck slums of the HSS Matilda, a space vessel organised much like the antebellum South. For generations, Matilda has ferried the last of humanity to the mythical Promised Land. On its way to the ship's leaders have imposed harsh moral restrictions, the deep indignities on the dark-skinned scarce shoppers like Aster. Embroiled in a grudge with a brutal overseer, Aster learns there may be a way to improve her lot if she's willing to sow the seeds of civil war. So this again is just off the back of trying to get a wee bit more into sci-fi. I think it's going to be a cracking read. And then I got myself Dialy for Aunties by Jessie Suntaro. This again is like another wee cosy mystery, I believe. When Medi-chan accidentally kills her blind date, she turns to her aunties for help. Their meddling set her up on the date, so they do kind of owe her. Although hiding this goddamn dead body is going to be harder than they thought, especially when our family's wedding business has the biggest wedding of the year happening right now. It turns out the wedding venue just happens to be managed by Maddie's ex, aka the one who got away. It's the worst time to see him again, or is it? Can Maddie finally find love and make her overbearing family happy? So I think that this is going to be funny. I think like the aunties in it are going to be proper wee old matriarchs, and it's just going to be a really fun, good time. I then have The Time Shelter by Georgie Gospendorf, and we're going to read this as part of me and Angie's Fiction Addiction book club next year, so I'm not going to go into too much detail as to what this is about here. If you fancy joining us, have a wee click down below and I will link the Discord and you can find out a wee bit more about it and see if you fancy it. I then got myself Darling by Mercedes M. Yardley. Cherry LaRouge escaped the claws of Darling, Louisiana at 16 when she forced to return after her mother's death. Cherry and her children move back into her childhood home where the walls whisper and something sinister skitters across the roof at night. While Cherry tries to settle back into a town where evil spreads like infection, the bodies of several murdered children turn up. When Cherry's own daughter goes missing, she's forced to confront the true monsters of Darling. Sounds dead interesting. It's indie published. I like to support some indie published authors. There's quite a few of them in here that are indie published, and it just looks absolutely great. And then I have Bonecryer's Dawn by Catherine Purdy. I have the first one in this duology. Excuse me. I haven't read it yet, so I wanted to get the second one so that I could get that completed. And then, likewise, I bought myself The Shadow Cabinet by Juno Dawson. I have, is it Her Majesty's Secret Service? Her Majesty's Royal Coven. And this is the second one, so I got this in a bargain on the Waterstones January sale, so I picked it up while it was on sale because I have absolutely no doubts I'm going to love this series and I am going to enjoy it when I get into it. So that is my last ever haul. Last ever. The only hauls going forward that you should see is maybe a birthday haul if I get some books for my birthday in May. And then Christmas, because I really am not planning to buy myself books. We're going to have so much more to purchase going forward. We've cancelled our book subscriptions and I'm no longer going to do my sustainable book boxes just until, you know, financially things have calmed down a bit. But I'm excited to read every single one of these books. I think that's quite a chunky haul for it being my last one, which is befitting for the channel because I am a book hoarder, unreal. But I'm excited to read them. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying everything that you're reading at the moment. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!